Be prepared for re-entry anytime you've been away from home, especially on a business trip. Think of them first. You're listening to IdeaCharger Radio. Hey there, Success Chargers. Welcome back. Hey, listen, I really hope you enjoyed last week's episode when we interviewed Patrick Allman from StopDoingNothing.com. If you haven't had a chance to listen yet to episode 4, I encourage you to go back and load that one up because we had a lot of fun recording that. And most importantly, he reminded us that you're the one that gets to control your destiny and figure out where your success is coming from. You're the one that has to make it happen. But first, you have to stop doing nothing. Hey, I'm reminded as well that Patrick interviewed me that same night. And if you haven't yet heard our podcast, or if it hasn't yet been posted, I'm not sure what day that's going up. But if you'll stop by the podcast at StopDoingNothing.com, just go check it out. You'll find our interview, and certainly hope you'll take a chance to download that and some of Patrick's other topics and really see what it's all about, because he's certainly a great guy and has a lot to share with you. You know, as I sit here today, I want to take a little bit different turn. We've talked a lot in the last few episodes about success and things that you could do, but I want to talk about something that is sort of behind the what you do, and it's why you do it. See, this year it is, as I record this, we're deep into August. We're headed into the fall. And so far this year, I think I've spent somewhere close to 60 or 70 nights in a hotel room. Now, that sounds like fun if you're on vacation, but let me tell you, the grind of business travel is not all that fun. And it's been a challenging year. And I found it's not so much the travel. I mean, it's a grind, let's be honest. But I love the work that I do, getting to work with leaders from companies all around the country and helping them to become more successful at what they do. I really get a kick out of that. Maybe you and I can have a chance to work together sometime. And I would love that. What I want to remind you, though, is why we do it. And it's, if you stop and think, it has to do with our family and the lifestyle that we've chosen. Now, stop and think about it. There are 168 hours in a week. Now, on average, human beings, adults, are encouraged to sleep 8 hours of sleep. I know that doesn't always happen. I'll give you 7 a night for several nights out of the week. So that's, let's see, 7 times 7 is 49. So that leaves us with 100 and some odd hours during the day. But how many of those hours are you working? Because if you're a very success-minded person, you're probably one of those folks that doesn't just put in your 40 hours and goes home. You're probably putting in somewhere like 50, maybe 60 hours. Let's throw in your commute. Let's call that 70, 75 hours. A week now is gone. You only had 100 something to go. That's about 25 hours left of your time that you're awake, which means that we spend more time with people that we work with when we're awake than we do with our own loved ones, the very reason that we're working. In our house, it's my wife and I. We both work. I'm traveling and I'm out working with clients quite often. And my wife also has a career. She's got a full-time job. She puts in anywhere close to 50 hours a week. And of course, we've got a little kid that lives here too, who, by the way, is quite awesome. And I promise not to bore the rest of you without kids, how much fun it is to have a little kid and what they can mean in your life and all those great things. But that's for another day. Except to mention this. Why are you doing what you do? Now, if you're single, you don't have any family, maybe you're married and you don't have any children, and you just both work, that's fine. You can, it's easier really for adults to get together. But I'm reminded of this. When I'm on the road, I'm not here. And when I'm gone, and sometimes it's for several days at a time, other times it's a quick out and back. I may only be gone one night. Sometimes I'm out and back the same day. See, just the other night, we were watching some old episodes, getting caught up on Scandal. And as we were watching a scene where Olivia Pope goes by to visit with her dad, she says, "Hey, I just stopped by and I brought you a coffee." Now, he's surprised because they have a bit of a strained relationship at this point. We're somewhere in season 4, so please don't spoil it for me. She stops by and he says, well, come on in. I'll fix you something to eat. We'll open a bottle of wine. And she stopped. She said, I just said I was stopping by. And he said, oh, I get it. He said, this is about reentry. There's a big chunk of time that is missed just before this season starts where Olivia Pope had stepped onto a plane and flown away to go start a new life with a new identity somewhere far, far away. But she just couldn't stay away and had to come back to the scandal of Washington. That's not a spoiler. Come on. You knew they were going to do another episode, and Shonda Rhimes was not going to let that one lay down. As Olivia Pope comes back, she's trying to get adjusted, but the world has moved on without her. On a much smaller scale, that happens for those of us that travel for business every time we leave. Whether you're gone for a day, you're gone for a week, you're gone for a month, when you come back home, your wife, your kids, your dog, your goldfish, whatever it was that you left, your spouse, your significant other, your friends, your neighbors, their lives kept moving and they went along just fine without you. It's difficult when you come back home sometimes to not feel like you're in the way, particularly if you're gone quite a bit. And I just want to remind you that we've got to remember to be prepared. So early on in my career, I've been traveling pretty heavy since about 2009. I remember having an agreement with my wife when we first got together that said, look, honey, I know that I travel a lot for my job, and that means that I spend a lot of night in hotel rooms and go a lot of places on airplanes. But that also means that I rack up a lot of hotel points and a lot of airline points and car rental days that we can use for free. If you ever want to go somewhere on the weekend, it doesn't matter how much I've been gone, you haven't been able to go anywhere. I'll make the agreement that if you need me to be somewhere for the weekend, I will never complain about that trip, and I'll always go. It got a little bit more complicated when we had our first kid, because kids just add a whole other layer of challenge to that, but it stands true. For me, it's, hey, I know I just got home really late on Thursday night or Friday night. Now, sometimes I may ask for permission just to sleep a little bit on Friday morning, which means I probably get up at like 8 instead of 6:30 or whatever time everybody starts moving around here at the house. For me, it was, look, you need me to get up Saturday morning and take our kid to go do an activity, or if we need to go shop for something, if we need to drive out to see her parents, like my in-laws, or go up to see my parents, or be somewhere to go visit with some friends, we're going to cook out, whatever we're going to do, I'm up for it. Okay, because I recognize and I cherish every moment that I've got with my family. Certainly, there's things that I do that I volunteer with. There's a ministry group here in the Houston area that I do a lot of work with. There's our church that we regularly attend, all these activities that the kiddos involved in. Plus, my wife and I both like to ride bicycles, and we get out whenever we can to go do that. There's always something going on, and I've made the commitment to her that I'm always going to put our family first, because that's the most important thing. So I just remind you this. When you're out and about, when you're out doing your job, when you're gone for stretches at a time, when things are kind of stressful at work, do your best to leave your work at work. And when you come home, come home. And for those of you that are working from home, like I do, I mean, I'm right here in the IdeaCharger studio that's right inside of our home. And as I sit here in my home office / studio and record this podcast for you, when the kiddo and the wife walk in the door at the end of the day, my computer shuts down, I close up shop, and I'm here for them for the rest of the night. And I would encourage you to do the same. I don't know anybody, and you've heard this before, I don't know anybody that gets to their end of the life and wish they'd worked a little bit more. Most people wish they could have those moments back. Your relationships matter. They require your attention too. Know why you're working. Know what you're working for. It doesn't mean you can't lock yourself in a room to work on a project from time to time, but keep those communication lines open, and remember to always be prepared for reentry when you've been away from home, especially a business trip. Check your bags at the door just like you did when you got to the airport. Let them go. Come home and be with your loved ones. Success Chargers, that's what I've got for you this week. We'll see you again next time on Success Charger. Thanks for listening. Enjoyed what you just heard, please post your 5-star review and subscribe to Success Charger today. Your future is waiting.